talking on that or on your phone? I don't know.
I'd say we're ready to go. We're ready to go?
Yeah.
We'll call this meeting to order.
1 second.
Okay.
So everyone in the room.
Greg, I dropped the bottles off.
When, let me check. I'm gonna give a report. We had one at 11:20. Okay, I'm up to date. That must have been you.
Is that good?
If you have joined audio, then you're okay. You should be A-okay.
Great.
Hey, Dawn, are you still in Hawaii?
No, we just
Oh.
got back late a couple nights ago. And
Well,
I'm
welcome.
washing clothes and finding sand in my
In everything.
washing machine.
Well, that shows you had a good time.
We had a great time.
Okay, well, welcome to Road Gateway for April 21st, 2022. All those online and also in person. Today we'll maybe give you what's going to happen. We have some guests, may have some guests today for Service Above Self, but we're going to start our meeting with a pledge and then the inspiration, and then we'll follow it up with updates and announcements. And then we'll move to our Service Above Self presentation and then our program for Tommi Drakes, talking about grant possibilities. And we'll wrap up our meeting today with the John Chiavone for Sergeant at Arms. We can share some personal news and updates. And once the meeting officially adjourned, everybody's welcome to stay on for more fellowship.
Sorry, I thought you.
And if you, yes, everybody's welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but if you need to leave early, totally understand. So Kirk, would you like to start us up with the pledge, please?
We're doing.
Okay.
Oh, here. Turn it around.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. And Leonora, do you have an inspiration for us today, please?
I do. I'm back in the swing of things, finally. This is from Harry Chapin, back in the 70s. And he said, "Our lives are to be used and thus to be lived as fully as possible. And truly it seems that we are never so alive as when we concern ourselves with other people."
Thank you so much. For our Rotary Minute, I thought I would talk a few minutes about Rotary Action Groups. We haven't talked about that in a long time, and I think there's some members of the club that possibly are members of Rotary Action Groups. But what these action groups are
Sorry.
okay. Rotary Action Groups are independent Rotary affiliated groups made up of people from around the world who are experts in a particular field, such as economic development, peace, addiction prevention, environment, or water. And these action groups offer their technical expertise and support to help clubs plan and implement projects to increase our impact, one of Rotary's strategic priorities. This support includes helping clubs find partners, funding, and other resources. An action group can also help clubs and districts prepare grant applications, we're going to talk about today, conduct community assessments, and develop plans to monitor and evaluate our projects. Anyone who wants to share their expertise to make a positive difference can join an action group. Only Rotarians can serve in leadership roles. You can contact a Rotary Action Group to get expert advice on planning and implementing service projects, including those funded by the Rotary Foundation district and global grants. Connect with potential project partners, both within and outside of Rotary, and to help fundraising and obtain resources for projects. So I encourage you to join a Rotary Action Group. You can go to rotary.org and you start searching for Rotary Action Groups, and you can contact the action group that you're interested in. You're going to find Rotary Action Groups about peace, fighting disease, sanitation, and for example, there's groups specifically on basic education, literacy, refugees, and blood donations. Really anything about Rotary that makes a difference is you'll find a Rotary Action Group. Let's see. Are there any visiting Rotarians or guests I know, everybody on the table I know. Any Rotarians? Yes.
We have Maisie from Illinois Valley High School who's on. She's our service above center. And then I see her mom. So Mr. Tanner will be, Smith, the principal, is going to be a little bit late. But
Okay.
that's it.
I appreciate that update. I'll just kind of, change things around the order of things, okay? Okay, Wynn, would you like to do our healthcare update for the day, please?
Yeah, and I'm going to be introducing Kitty Salas. She's our health educator and coach at Asante. She's a wonderful person, and she's agreed to actually give us a quick update on something I think is important to all of us. So Kitty, I'll turn it right over to you.
Okay, sounds good, guys. I did bring a PowerPoint. Would you guys prefer I share it or nah? Okay, I think visuals are fun, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, give me a thumbs up when you can see that, guys. Wonderful. And if I switch screen to my notes, can you guys still see it? Okay, perfect. Thank you. So I educate at Asante, lifestyle and wellness coaching. Behavior change is my specialty. And I've done about 400 appointments with my population, just well-being check-ins this year. And I've noticed a few trends that I'm going to share with you. First and foremost, we're noticing that people are feeling pretty derailed and off track with their well-being habits. And this has been due to COVID, disrupting our routines and our habits. So Wynn asked me to come and share some, healthy things that can be inspiring. So if you feel like your habits have been changed or dropped or they feel lost, there's definitely some hope on the horizon. I'm going to share some insights I've gleaned from our population. So first and foremost, people are reclaiming their physical well-being through several means. We've noticed that people are being successful with setting reminders in their calendar. It's so simple to just take little fitness breaks. Time management constraints are hard. And people are learning that even when they don't have time, they can make time. 3 little extra minutes per hour adds up to 30 minutes over 10 hours. And so, every little bit here and there counts, better than nothing at all. I'm also noticing that parents who have competing commitments and feel guilty to take time away from their kids or pets.
Google will be the death of us. I have absolutely
I don't know
no
who else
idea
is
why
talking.
it says that. And I would love to, if you would be so incredibly kind as to send me a screenshot of that so that I can try to get to the bottom of
Somebody's on the phone, I think.
The
on
person that
speaker.
wants to send the screenshot, please mute yourself. Thank you.
Anyways, parents with competing
Never
commitments.
been on 6th Street to the best
They're
of my knowledge.
They're erasing their guilt by including their kids and their pets in their workouts, which has been really cool. We've also noticed a trend with gym memberships dropping, but home gyms are trending. So investing in your home equipment.
Been a bane of my existence as well, because it shows part of Jackson. It shows bigger. We only serve Joseph.
Okay, I'm unmuting myself. Thank you for that, host. I appreciate it. Anyways, gym memberships have dropped, but people are building home gyms, which is neat because they're investing in affordable equipment, moving more at home. We're noticing remote workers are doing great with using resistance bands, even during phone calls and meetings, and that's a great hack. Next up on the list of things that are working for our population is hydration. Every single cell in the body is happier when it's hydrated. And so a simple hack is to bring a hydro flask to work with you of, maybe 32-ounce size and try to drink 2 of them. 64 ounces is pretty great. People in our population are feeling motivation fatigue at times, and they're realizing that it's honestly about momentum. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. So just do it is the mantra, and that's how we build that momentum with action. Smart planning, make sure your goals are doable and not vague or lofty so that you can build your healthy momentum with little steps. Just as unhealthy momentum builds over time, so does healthy momentum. And a lot of people are noticing it's just kind of conquered one little habit at a time, swapping out one unhealthy habit for a healthy one. And lifestyle is really all about the consistency of our routines. And they honestly didn't come apart in a day. They won't come back together in a day. It takes time, and it's about trusting that process. Something else I've noticed is that meal prepping is back on trend. People are realizing if they fail to plan, then they're planning to fail. And so they're tracking and packing healthy, nutritious things to eat for their work shifts. They're eating and drinking less junk calories, and they're just honestly feeling better from the inside out. I'm going to touch on mental well-being, and then I'll cut you guys back loose to your important business. So with mental well-being, we notice a very beneficial process with micro practices. And if you've ever heard of these, it's something you can do anytime and anywhere very simply and easily. I'm going to list a few. You guys check them out if you are interested. Intentional breathing is a micro practice. Tapping or meditation. Medication helps too sometimes, but meditation is a micro practice. Mindfulness, there's a name it to tame it emotional exercise. Choosing an attitude of gratitude is huge. And I recently learned from Wynn about seeking awe. That can be a nice micro practice. Shifts the attitude, shifts the perspective. I've heard many people express benefit in seeking mental health counseling. They're taking control of their negative thoughts and feeling better emotionally. It's a perfect example of how adversity in life is guaranteed, but defeat is optional. So people who are feeling, defeated can reach out for professional help and increase their emotional IQ with skill power and healthy coping techniques, which is great. People are also learning to recognize and regulate tension in their bodies. Stress causes tension, we tense, right? And we carry it daily. If we can learn to recognize that in our bodies and release it, we can reduce our stress levels. Something else I've noticed is mindful connections. People have kind of culled the herd with their social support networks and are removing toxicity and setting boundaries, which is extremely beneficial for our mental health. I think most of us would probably agree that 4 quarters is better than 10 dimes, right? People have also increased notice of where they're spending their limited energy. So that energy gauge is important. Dialing back on overcommitments, especially with things that are emotionally draining, and making more time for the things that are emotionally charging. And that's the definition of self-care. Finally on the list here, self-care honestly is best achieved when we give ourselves permission to do it. And people with self-permission barriers are doing a lot of work around reducing self-denial, and they're just simply getting out of their own way. They're realizing over the past couple of years how burnt out, drained, and spent they've become, just kind of denying their own care to prioritize others. And so anyways, it's a tightrope walk, and many people are falling, getting back on, trying and finding that center, and that's balance, and it's a process. And I just wanted to share with you guys today that it's worth doing. And hopefully you've gleaned some kind of inspiration from it. And we've all got this. Just keep going with your well-being, guys.
Okay. Are there any questions for either Wynn or Kitty?
I just want to say thank you to Kitty for putting this together and all your work you're doing. This is really important, and and we care about our fellow Rotarians, and we're all in this together. And I just appreciate all of you, and I appreciate Kitty, sharing the learnings that we've had as well.
Yeah, it was an honor. Thanks, guys.
Valerie, okay, Wynn, do you think it would be possible to get a copy of that presentation that we could share in the club newsletter?
Probably not. No, I'm just kidding. No, we can get it, absolutely.
Hey, I'm careful,
We need humor too. We need a little humor. So.
That's right.
President?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one thing missing in that presentation.
Wine?
Exactly.
Medication.
No more than 6 ounces is the prescription there.
Hydration and medication.
At a time.
Okay, we're all at a time, okay.
If you go back to Blue Zones, wine was discussed. Okay, well, thank you so much for that. Valerie, would you like to talk about the Grants Pass City Council update, please?
Yes, and thank you, Kitty, for that, because that really hits home for me. Self-care and having to make sure when you feel like you've been knocked down, pick yourself back up again. Yeah, a lot going on in our city right now. This week on Monday, we talked about Caveman Pool. We asked the city to move forward with working with District 7 to put it at the caveman site, which means we need to enlarge our urban growth boundary down there, but we're excited to move forward. We have money set aside in the urban renewal once we get that boundary changed. And we also set about $1.2 million of ARPA funds because we can spend federal funds in what's called the Opportunity Zone. Our northeast area of Grants Pass is considered an Opportunity Zone because that's where our lowest income is. So that's a good thing. We're kind of looking at the Ashland pool because they have been remodeling it for the last couple of years. So we're going to kind of try to tone in with them to find out what they're doing and how that's working and what we can do similar to ours. So that was exciting. We also came down with some pretty darn close to figuring how we're going to spend the ARPA funds. We went through a pretty intense workshop of bartering and talking about it. And it kind of looks like right now, $4.5 million of it is going to be going towards infrastructure and monies towards affordable housing projects. That's on top of the $3 million for the water treatment plant. And then once again, the $1.2 million towards Caveman Pool. And then there's some other things. I think the plan is to put a Portland Loo down at Baker Park because there's been a lot of drug activities in the restrooms down there. And so we're kind of trying to clean up that area. Last night at our Wednesday meeting, we did approve a 60% density requirement in R3, any moderate or high density zones in the city. And we also, just a kind of a couple little things that are affected day-to-day life is Loveless Park is going to be closed next week because they are upgrading the little mini bike jump zone, and that's pretty exciting. So we'll have an updated bike park up in the northwest part of town. They are also, weather's kind of hindered them, but they are in the process of doing updates and pickleball courts around town and the tennis courts. So they are being resurfaced and should hopefully be done by the end of May. West Home, Redwood, and I think there's Reinhardt and Long Ridge are also being done. I don't know if they'll be done by May, but anyway, so those are some of the things going on right now. And on the urban campground, we are working towards using $1 million of state funding that came down for homeless relief to come up with a contract with All Care for them to purchase land and ultimately contract out with Rogue Retreat. I think they're in the process of looking at land right now. We're on the process of working on the contract. We have decided where that money will come from. So, and I believe, and I'm sure Doug or Jim can tell you about, there is an update, a meeting coming up. And in the past, the meetings on the urban campground or have been at the church, I think the Bethany Church, but I think they're moving this next one to the Redwood Church campus, because I do think the land that they're kind of looking at is in that part of town. So with that, if there are no questions, I will hand it over.
Can I make a quick comment?
Sure.
Valerie, thank you so much, not only for the work you do, but also the update. And just want the club to know that the entity purchasing or working with Rogue Retreat for the urban campground is the All Care Foundation, which is a separate organization. It's always so hard, but we just really are working to lift up the great work of the foundation and to be mindful of the rules we have as a Medicaid, Medicare line of business, a family of companies, where purchasing capital expenses with those federal dollars or state dollars isn't allowed. And so that's one of the benefits of having the foundation, is they have a lot more flexibility. So thanks for letting me add that in, Valerie.
Yes, thank you for that, because it is, we are continually trying to remind ourselves to say foundation, 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 so that everybody recognizes that it's not the medical part of the of your business. So thank you for that.
Any other questions for Valerie? Okay, anything here? Let's see, some club announcements. I sent out an email yesterday, as well as it's in the Navigator, a survey regarding best meeting practices and club member desires. and we're going to be discussing those survey results at our board meeting next Wednesday. So if you haven't taken the opportunity to take the survey, I'd appreciate it if you do it. Hopefully it doesn't take long at all, just a couple questions, and it's also an opportunity for you to give your comments as well. So if you do that, I would appreciate it by next, let's say Tuesday. Next Thursday evening on April 28th at 5:30 p.m., we're going to have a club fellowship event at the Weekend Beer Company for the last Thursday. Greg, would you like to do a bottle drop update, please?
Thank you, Steve. We still have 2 days to go for the bottle drop 20% match program based on the Earth Week promo from the State of Oregon Bottle Drop folks. We have, as of today, as of 11:20 today, we have 24 bags that we brought in during this time. Those bags were $118 worth of bottles and cans, which generated a 20% match of another $23.60. So we are now at $141.60 for just this promotion. 2 days to go. We can break 150, I think, with a couple more bags. That would be great. I'm having to replenish the bags in the toy box, but I still have a few left, and I'm going to get the rest tomorrow or sooner. And we have completed the social media part of the contest, and we're not positive whether we won anything, but we don't think so. Janie might have an update on that. She was checking this morning. I'm not sure how they notify the winners, but we did have a few fun posts. If you want to check our Facebook page to help promote the activity, that contest finished last Sunday. So we still have 2 more days. Bring in your full bags for the 20% match as soon as you can, and we'll hope to break $150. Thanks to the 24, thanks to those who brought in the 24 bags we've already submitted.
Thank you, Greg. Josie, do you want to talk about the May 14th event for the Grants Pass Parkway?
Yeah, thanks, Steve. So just a reminder, we are doing the highway cleanup on May 14th. We're gonna have breakfast at Elmer's at 8 a.m. and then we'll start cleanup around 8:45, 9 a.m. We're usually done a little bit before noon, and we will be cleaning up along Parkway. And we would love to have around 10 different volunteers. So I'll put my email address in the chat. If you would just email me if you can help that day, we would really appreciate it.
And Josie promises good weather that day.
It's all good.
Okay. Let's see, we're also on May 21st, there's a Rogue River cleanup in the community. Kelly put some information in the Navigator, including a sign up for that one. There's a chance, or not a chance, but you'll receive lunch and t-shirt, and there's some prize availability. On May 7th is the Rotary Food Bank Planning Day from 9 to 11 at the Food Bank, Josephine County Food Bank. So a lot of events there. Porch Fest update, Doug.
Yeah, I've got a little update. One for Greg. Hey, Greg, would you gather enough of the, maybe 20 or 30 of those blue bags for recyclable cans that we can use at Porch Fest to gather bottles in, please?
Happy to do that.
That event, thank you.
Yeah,
and
just
then
give me a detail as we get closer to where to bring them, or if just bring them that morning or whatever.
Yeah, will do. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. And then I've been given instructions to instruct all you Rotarians. This is very important, pay attention. You have to go to Facebook and you need to like and share the Porch Fest events, please. Very important. It was kind of explained to me why, and it kind of dawned on me. I used to think liking and sharing was like, why am I liking this? They know I like it. We're involved with it, you know. This is silly. What is this? But when you like something, it amplifies the number of people that see it. And if we do it enough, then we get to ring, you know, we get to win the bell at Facebook, and they post those things on lots of people's pages and whatnot. So take time to go to your Facebook and like and share Porch Fest events, please.
And there's instructions.
And there's very clear, neat instructions on our Navigator.
Doug,
Yes,
I brought bands. Every Rotarian should wear one.
okay, and Patty has bands for those of us,
Yay.
Okay.
for every Rotarian from the last time we tried to put on Porch Fest 2 years ago.
Oh, this is 2022.
Oh, these are new ones, wonderful.
Woo.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, also, there's a Rotary Club celebration of all the different Rotary clubs in Josephine County at Wildlife Interest on May 19th. There's a flyer in there from 5 to 7, a flyer in the Navigator. That'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. Chance for us to see the wildlife images. You haven't seen it recently. Christy, my wife, went out there recently, and she was amazed and very, very pleased to see all the progress that's been made out there. It continues to evolve and become better all the time. So it's another good opportunity to see some Rotarians that we may not have seen in a couple of years. Any other announcements before we go to the service above self presentation? Okay. So Lisa, are we okay for service above self at this time?
Yes, I don't see Mr. Smith on. Certainly, he's a sweetheart, and we're excited that we've had participation from Illinois Valley High School this year. The prior 2 years, there were fires, there were the pandemic, and so they weren't able to participate. So I'm excited about having her be with us here today. She's a very, very active student in her school and in the community. Read her bio in the Navigator. I mean, it's impressive. But just a few things she participates in are the blood drive, the community cleanup club, senior center breakfast, and she's in leadership and government and band and Gay Straight Alliance, Project Youth, and she's the I can't say it, the salutatorian, and music, reading, art, being friends are some of her favorite hobbies. So I'm going to turn it over to Maisie to just tell us a little bit about her plan. And there you go. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Maisie.
I'm sorry, it was cutting out a little bit. What should I say?
Whatever you would like to say, like where you plan on going to school and just your overall activity.
All right. Well, I'm a senior this year, graduating next month, and I hope to go to SOU in the fall. I want to be an elementary school teacher. And yeah, I like, just for as long as I can remember, I like helping people and doing community service things, and especially helping kids. Right now I have an internship with our local Boys and Girls Club, and that's helped me to learn more about what it's like to work with kids and help me realize that it is the career that I hope to have, and it's been fun.
How did you like your gifts?
I like them very much. I'm wearing the jacket right now.
Wow, very nice. Well, does anybody have any questions for Maisie?
Yeah, Maisie, I have a question from one of the board, people at the board here. When you go to get a degree for teaching, do you end up specializing in something, like specializing in math or English or something like that as well, or is it just a general teaching degree? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure it's just a general teaching degree for elementary school, because you teach the basics in all of the subjects, and whereas in like middle school and high school, you do one subject. I think our principal is joining us now.
Hey, everybody. All right, so can I tell you about Maisie a little bit?
Bet you can.
All right. So Maisie is such a pleasure to have here at our school. You know, as a principal, it's so fun to see kids that just go out of their way to make sure everybody else is doing well. I've never had a student in all my years check in on me more often, or check in on my teachers and just say, hey, how's your day going? And, I feel like we should be doing that to the kids more than they do that for us. She runs to set things up and set up the school dance and set up, spirit assemblies, and she tries to get volunteers, and she goes to bag groceries at the grocery store. So it's just really, it's a student that, sets an example for everybody else of what they should strive for as far as service to others, as far as service to community, and then just representing herself and her family and our school so well. And so, if I have 3 small children, if they end up like Maisie, then I've done a heck of a job as a dad, because she is such a top-notch kid. And, when she leaves and graduates, I kind of want to hand her a contract and see if she'll work for me. But I think she wants to go on and do some other things before coming back here and working. So I just can't say enough good things about her, and what a wonderful choice for an award. Maisie is the best. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Maisie? Well, congratulations. And thanks for making a difference in the lives of others. As we talked about the self-care that Wynn talked about, and has been talking about the meetings, and Kitty talked about with her presentation, is such an important part that we all watch out for each other. And thanks for doing your part with the teachers as well as the other students. We all need that. Okay. Okay.
Hi, Maisie. It's great to see you.
Oh, hi.
Great to see faces. Okay. There's no other announcements. Tommy, would you like to talk about the grant program for next year and this year and
Generally?
generally?
Yes.
Kind of educate us all?
Well, I'm just gonna throw a rock at Jim and make him do it. No, I'm just. Anyway, every year we have grants, which means that we find a project we would like to help support. And in that support, we get support from the district by applying to them for a matching grant. So we're looking for grants for next year. Or suggestions, and then the club will, as a group, we kind of decide what we want to do. This year, we had, where's Val? We had Val and the Hillcrest, no, not Hillcrest, Beacon Hill. It was a hill. Beacon Hill Park, which we all got out there and planted trees, and it's going to be a real nice north end of the street, or north end of the town park at some point. So we try to do stuff that helps. And the other one we haven't done yet, because the shoes aren't here, and that's Jody, and Shoes for Kids, which will go to, which elementary school?
Evergreen.
Evergreen. Okay, great. Thank you. So that's what we came up with, $2,000, and then for each one, no, $1,000 for the shoes and $2,000 for the park, and then that got matched at district, and that happens every year. We have to have the information, in very soon now, because then district decides what's going to happen and who gets the grants and stuff. Last year, we did Foundry Village. Doug shepherded it, which was a fabulous project and has really helped our community a lot. Any other projects that we've done that we should talk about? We've funded a number of things. I'm trying to remember what they are.
Well, the little libraries.
Little Libraries was funded by us. So it's quite all over the board. We did at one point do quite a large grant request for funding for the Siskiyou Health Clinics for their parenting programs. And we bought them, I don't remember how long it was, 4 or 5 years worth of books for that program. That was a really good one.
Right, and we did the one with the big club for the books for kids from 0.
For the Dolly Parton Imagination
Dolly
Library,
Parton.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all over the place, and part of why we're telling you this is to say, if you have some ideas for this year, next year, year after that, bring them to us, sort of flesh them out, talk to your group, talk to your organization, whatever you want to do, because we are always looking for ideas.
Right, right.
And we also have done things out of the country too. Since none of us have been out of the country lately, it's a little tough to do that. The last one we did, I think, was a bunch of us came back from the Philippines, and we did a tent thing for people to walk through to get into the hospital that sanitized them, which helps save their time and energy. And their hospitals are nothing like our hospitals. We are very blessed with our hospitals. Thank you, Wynn.
So Jim LaFever here. If I might talk for a second, Tommy. I'm still learning about grants. This meeting on Saturday is open to all Rotary members if they'd like to attend it. Anyways, as I understand it, there's district grants, and we have a time frame to submit for district grants for next year. And that time frame, I believe, is before the end of June. So if there's something local, regional that our club wants to do, we've got to come up with the idea and make the presentation in a fairly timely manner, because it's already the end of April. So we got less than 2 months to do this. Now, if it's international type grants, that is somewhat different. And those ideas can be floated throughout the year. But international grants also are quite a bit more cumbersome than district grants. I, for example, and my wife Jolene, in our heart, we have a garden project in Cozumel, Mexico that we've been talking about and we've been visiting every year. We're not sure how to do something with it, but that idea could be proposed throughout the year. But anything local, we've got to come up with it before the end of June. Isn't that right, Tommy?
It would be more like June 1. It has to be turned into the state or to the district by the end of June. So, and there's a certain amount of paperwork that needs to get put in, which is why we're going to that meeting on Saturday.
Tommy,
Yes,
but you're talking about the international grants, they have to be a minimum $35,000.
For a global, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
global.
But we can do.
So it's easier to partner with another club locally to raise those funds rather than do it all on ourselves.
Right.
And of course, we have to have a host partner too, down in the host country. So it takes quite a bit of research and partnerships to do these global grants.
And it's a lot of work, but.
Maisie has a question.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Yep.
say, Maisie has.
Maisie, you have a question? Or a
Yeah.
comment?
I just wanted to say one more thing really quick. My lunch is almost over, so I have to go back to class. But I just wanted to say thank you all for the gifts. And my mom is on here also. I wanted to just thank her as well, because obviously I wouldn't be able to do all the volunteering and things without my mom. So I just wanted to thank her and thank all of you before I have to leave.
You bet. Thank you.
So we have done international projects that weren't global through the club. Where
Yeah, you can do club to club
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's something for the smaller ones, that's the best way to go.
Doesn't it have to go?
Margarita?
Yeah, is there a role for our club in the urban campground that would?
Well, we're hoping so, but I don't know if we're gonna know yet, timeframe wise.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit on that, and then there's another thing we could talk about as a potential grant, but the urban campground is probably a little further out, and it'll be probably a little more hands-on in the beginning when we try to get the site ready. So I'm not sure we could develop a request at this short timeline. I think one of the things we might consider as a club is we're sort of committed ourselves to partnering with the other Rotary clubs in town here to help develop that. It's called the Fork Program. It's new, and it's going to be, in some way, we're going to be getting food into the kiddos' hands that need food, that have issues at home. And the exact details still being worked out. It may be that what we do is supply food for pantries at all the schools, and the schools then have the leeway to hand it out to the kids that need it and whatnot. And so that might be a really worthwhile thing to ask for grant money at, because we're going to ramp it up and get it started the first of next year when the school year starts. It might be worthwhile to do that. We've committed ourselves to being part of it. Not sure exactly what it means, but we'll be part of it. We can definitely use money to buy the food for that.
And then you had a question?
Yeah,
Statement?
in order to, used to be, if I remember correctly, when you wrote a grant and you wanted an international grant, you usually went through the district, and they doubled it, and then the.
Right, yeah.
Right,
the
right.
Okay. So
And then
that's
there's
still-
the bigger global grants, which is what, Kirk was
Kirk,
talking
right.
about, that are the 35,000.
Yeah.
Don't forget the taxes. Are there questions about this at all, or ideas? Now's the time.
I really like where Doug was going. We actually just funded, we can help fund at All Care grants that support food security, and there's a really neat partnership between the Josephine County Food Bank, Public Health, and the school districts forming. And so there might be a really great opportunity there for some synergy.
Yeah, and I think part of that, I might be incorrect here, Tommy, but if All Care were making a donation to us, and then we took that money, we could get it matched by district. Do I understand that's kind of how it works? It doesn't have to be
It
just,
goes into our grant account, and then that is our match, yes.
right, so it doesn't have to be just our club's money, so
No.
we can get partner
Yeah.
organizations, and we can loop it in and get even more money from the district that way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think something for the kids regarding food is a good idea.
Yes,
Yeah.
I have a question.
the richest country in the world.
Since I'm new to this district, what is your maximum district grant that you can get from the district?
Well, we have a maximum of asking for two $2,000 grants if we have $4,000 to put up. And if we can go in with other clubs and get more money that way for a specific project,
still
which is what we did with,
$2,000 grants, what you're saying?
yes, our club can. So if, say, we wanted to do 2,000 to
Okay, that's.
food, and then 2,000 to books, or whatever, I'm making that up.
It depends upon how many clubs go in for your grants.
How big it gets.
Right, and because you're guaranteed to get one, but you may not get two.
Yeah.
How much,
That's pretty much the same we got.
how much did Foundry get with their joint effort?
Well, it was three clubs, so
Yes,
it was,
I think we were near 12 or something
yeah,
like
we
that.
had 12.
I think it was in that neighborhood, yeah.
It depends on how many clubs apply for a grant to begin with, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes,
I mean, because you got 60 some odd clubs in this district, and
right,
40 applied, then you got more money that you can.
exactly. And, in recent history, we've almost always gotten both of our grants approved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, in partnering with, the food program we're talking about is gonna be a partnership with at this point in time, it looks like all the Rotary clubs in town and probably IV as well.
Good.
So it looks like it's all 4 area clubs will be involved with that. Whether they all are willing to be part of the grant or not, that's another request, but I assume they would be.
Would be helpful.
Yeah. But we don't know yet.
That's a good project.
When we had our strategic planning, didn't we talk about a literacy project of some kind? Does anybody remember?
Yes, this is Kelly, and I've been putting most of my energy into Porch Fest right now, getting all the musicians line brought in and so on. But yes, this is an area that we are definitely going to be meeting. A group of us are going to be meeting and talking about how we can partner. We want to work with the local school librarians in both city and county and find out their needs for what's going on with literacy and their ELL programs. And we've already got some ideas going, but I had to kind of drop the ball for a little bit, and I'm ready to pick it back up now. Okay? Does that help?
Yes, Greg, was there something in our strategic planning on literacy?
I don't remember the details, and it would take me a while to try to dig
Well,
up
that's okay.
the document. But I do know that our community libraries are also talking about literacy, are also looking at some financial assistance that they would need for remodeling buildings and upgrading locations. So that's something that might not be coming right up in the next couple of months, but it's something that we could prepare to do in the next year.
So maybe what we should say is if somebody has a brilliant idea, around May 15th, I would get together with Jim and them and Doug, if you want to be involved in it, and we could figure out what, whoever has the brilliant idea and, what we want to do as a club, and then, so that we can get all the paperwork started at least by June 1, and I can get it in by June 15. I don't like the last minute stuff, it's too stressful.
So I have a question. If we think that there's the possibility of partially funding the food program for elementary schools, should we reach out to our 3 other clubs to see if they are willing to make that their first priority so we know what we're looking at?
That is a good idea. Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I'm putting a note to contact Diane
Okay.
right now.
All right,
And that's
so-
the big club. That's why we'll need to contact the other clubs as well.
Yeah, okay. So yes, good idea, Don. Luke, did you have something?
Johnny.
Oh, Yanni. You can't tell when we have these
No.
on.
Yeah.
Well, he can't tell because he's got a beard.
That's true too.
Tommy, what is your role with the foundation, or with the grants on the district side as well as the club side? Because you've done a lot of work. Where'd you get your knowledge of grants?
Lots of years.
This club's been torturing me into doing it. No, really, it's just going to these district grant meetings, which occur every 3 months. We have a meeting where we find out about what the global grant is going to be for, we can do as many global grants as we want, basically. And so this last meeting, I think we approved 2 or 3. One of them is the Ecuadorian literacy, save the trees, environment kind of a project, which sounds very valid. So the district committee is where I've learned a lot of it, and then I've gone to a lot of these grant writing workshops. I couldn't write the grants for the club if I didn't go to this Saturday workshop. You have to be certified.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being certified.
Well, you're certified.
I know, I certified last year, but yeah.
Well, so
As
Gina
club
Marie's
president.
got to do it now.
Yeah, Gina Marie's next to the line.
Tommy?
Any other thoughts? Yeah.
One other thing I was thinking, it might be good to explain maybe to the newer members how those funds are generated and how our contributions make a difference for what the matching money is.
Okay, well, our club money comes from all of us in our dues and our, when we used to do the polio change, that goes to polio though, but just, it comes from us. And the district money, it's a 3-year process that's a little bit complicated, but it comes from our donating to district, the annual fund at district, then say whatever we donated 3 years ago as a district comes back and then can get divvied up. So we're working on what we donated 3 years ago. So everybody that donates to the annual fund of our Rotary International really helps us have more money to spread the goodness in the community and the world. So. Is that what you wanted, Dawn?
Exactly. Wonderful. Write a check or something.
Yeah, quick, hurry.
Does that kind of give you the ideas, Tommy, that you're looking for going forward from our club as far as ideas, or are there further defining or questions that you have for us that we can help as a club, help you to get these grants for us?
Well, we have to raise the money, as a club.
Right.
So, I don't know
Put
where.
our budget.
Yeah, I don't know where our budget's at for next year. I mean, everything's been so upside down, but I definitely like this food idea for local. And I mean, I can think of lots of places that I would go and spend some money, but my husband and I are doing that anyway, so. I think it's important to help our local community at this point in time. So if there's another good idea, let's get together by the 15th of May.
On literacy, just a quickie, I help out at Parkside, and you can really tell which kids read at home and don't read at home. So
Yeah.
I ask the kids if they know that we have a public library. And a lot of kids that can't read, they don't know that. And some people that can read just sort of laugh at me, like, of course I know that. And then I ask if they have books at home. And it's sad, it makes me want to cry sort of, but a lot of kids that can't read say, no, I don't have books at home. So that's an idea.
Well, I think Kelly would want to do that. So Kelly, are you there, Kelly?
She is.
If we could get some idea together by the mid-May, you know, then we could maybe do 2 grants this year.
Yes,
We have the budget.
I'm totally in agreement with Bev. That was Bev, was that you talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm totally in agreement. We also have some other issues, like some of those kids don't know where the library is because their parents aren't going to take them to the library. Their best chance would be the school library, where they're at school, if they're in school. And then we also have a lot more to deal with issue-wise. There's a trend not to do much reading anymore outside of classroom. So most of it's online. And so we have to address all those needs. And so I think, yeah, we'll get our literacy committee back together, and we have some new people that would like to be part of it. And if you're one of those people and haven't spoken to me, please let me know, because we'll get that going. And I'm thinking by the end of, say, next week, because I'm going to be out of town for a few days, we'll get a meeting planned. And won't drop it in your lap on the last moment, Tommy, I promise.
March 15th.
May.
We're in trouble, but March 15th.
Yeah, that's come and gone.
Yeah.
For that.
Experience and time.
Yeah.
I know my wife is a first grade teacher, and she talks about this often, you know, and right now, for example, she's got a program in her first grade classroom, Read to 100, for books, and then she gives prizes, and it is difficult sometimes to get parental involvement, or not even parental, but some type of adult involvement in the lives, and so she works with them in the classroom as much as she can, so that everybody succeeds and gets to that. You know, her goal obviously is to make sure that each student reads 100 books between now and the next little bit. And every day she comes home and she's so excited the progress she makes on even a couple books on how it works. So yeah.
So, and then you also asked about the district level. I also, I'm the chair of the Global Scholars for the district, and that's how we had Ulun, our Afghan, who I get to go see in Texas next month. Anyway, I get to meet him after 3 years of talking on the phone and emailing and all of that. I get to meet him. So anyway, right now we have a person from Uzbekistan, and next year next year will be Uzbekistan for our district. This year is one of the stands, and I can't remember which one. But Dina seems like a real nice person, and I'm hoping that nothing further happens with COVID, so she gets to come here and we get to meet her at OSU. So, anyway.
You know, Tommy was asking about our club budget for next year, and of course, Gina Marie would be setting the club budget.
Right.
But one of the things about our club that we have been successful at is maintaining a balanced budget. And so we do have reserves of the club that allows us to spend down even. And so we're in COVID times, it's sometimes been difficult to spend down as much money on club projects as we have. So
we can help.
We can help, exactly. That's what I think it does. Yeah, exactly. So I think there's ways for us, you know, Porch Fest, the funds we raised on Porch Fest this year, that we can help in different projects like that. So I think our club, as long as Gina Marie goes along with that idea, we really can find ways to make sure that we still support the community. And I think in times like, difficult times like this, where it's sometimes getting children to read and that type of thing, or food and the classroom, I think that's a wise
Well,
investment
those
going
go
forward.
together
They
pretty much.
certainly do.
Yeah, right, yeah.
When I used to work with the kids reading, I could tell the kids that didn't eat
Right.
before they came to
Right.
school. And there was a lot of them.
Yep, yep.
So it's, you know, what, that's why you can't get parents involved. They can't even be bothered to feed the kids.
If they're even.
It's a complicated issue, but I think, you know, even sleep is a
Yeah.
factor among students,
Yeah.
and all things that we can do. But I think the most important thing we can do is, we can't solve it all, but maybe we can solve part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
And make some difference in this whole thing. It all helps. Any comments, from here in the room or else on Zoom? Okay, well, I think we made some good progress as far as ideas going forward and an explanation. Tommy, I'd really like to thank you, obviously, for
Yes.
this portion, and what you do with the district and our club. Thank you for that. Okay. Let's see now, Sergeant at Arms, John Schiavone.
How you doing? I just had to answer the door, I'm sorry. I'd like to start the Happy Bucks with $20 myself. I was just at an Asante meeting and an idea came across that I forgot. Ginger Rogers, remember in Shitty Cove, had a ranch that she had trained nurses for the Army. And I was impressed with that. And also she gave free milk to all the soldiers in White City. And she had a huge heart. So now we're looking for, if any one of you know of a rancher that might be able to give us property to house and train nurses. This would be another big dream. Don was working on this, I know, many years ago with trying to get something local here, but and that might still happen. If we had Job Corps here and now we have a community college, I think it's possible. Anyway, that's my Happy Bucks. Thanks. Anybody else?
I got 5 Happy Bucks. I had a meeting get canceled earlier today that brought me out to Grants Pass, and I got to spend some time with the walkers because I had nowhere else to go, and I wanted to make sure that I was here for our meeting today. So thank you so much for glad you're here.
Thank you.
John, it's Susan Fisher-Mackey. I have 20 Happy Bucks. I want to celebrate the Three Rivers School District. I want to celebrate all school districts, but I want to celebrate the Three Rivers School District. Last night at our board meeting, we had the opportunity to finish up our work to recommend Superintendent Valenzuela's contract be extended. He's just empowered his administrative team who've taken care of teachers and students through remarkable times, and just really love that. We had a report from Sunny Wolf Charter School, which is just an amazing program with almost 130 students receiving really quality instruction right there in their home community. We got to see the Siskiyou Community Health Center's school-based health center, and it's beautiful. They have 2 exam rooms, and they are seeing utilization by students, but also by teachers go up really steadily, which means people get to stay on campus and they don't miss work or school. But my favorite part was we spent 90 minutes with about 40 high school students at North Valley, and they shared some really great insights around mental health and what's happening for themselves and their peers. They spoke to issues of equity, and they asked the board about fairness in discipline and consequences, and it was a fascinating, really humbling conversation. So 20 Happy Bucks for that experience.
Good. Thank you. Greg, go ahead.
Thanks, John. I just want to put in 25 Happy Bucks for the 24 bags that we got, blue bags full of bottles for the bottle drop. And I'm anticipating we'll get at least one more. So I'll go 25.
Thank you.
Okay, John, I have Happy Bucks.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna match Serena's because I'm glad she had a missed appointment.
Yeah, I'd like to add $5 too, because I got to sit around and mansplain toilets and sewer snakes and things like that. I had a great time talking about.
You did have fun.
I'll take all the industry knowledge I can get, okay?
You know, speaking of that, I'll kick in $20 too, just for our club, the way we're making a difference in the community. You know, we are struggling, there's no doubt about that. We talk about the kids that are struggling, but also we want to talk about the kids that are doing well at the same time. And help those that need help, and also just continue onward for those that, for the students as well as the educators, to help them succeed in their lives, as well as whatever we can do to help support them.
Thank you, Steve. Is there anybody else? Oh, Lisa, go ahead.
I'll kick in $20 because I am so enthusiastic and just happy for the kids that we acknowledge in our Service Above Self Award program. They are top notch and they are so service oriented. When I went and talked to Maisie, I said, okay, now as you grow older, you need to look at your track, you need to look at the Rotary, and I expect to see you in the years to come as a Rotarian, serving your community. And just really excited about all the kids.
Thank you, Lisa. Is there anybody else out there? Is there a phone? I see that intake.
Tommy does. I do.
Okay, Tommy.
Okay, I have 10 happy bucks for my son, who is one of the sound and lighting tech people at the Performing Arts Center at the high school. And he is working with our four-way speech students to kind of fine tune some of it. He used to teach speech at the college, so I'm real happy that he's helping us. Maybe we'll get a district award, all right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Excellent.
That's very nice.
20.
Go ahead.
You can't recognize me, can you?
No.
I am, my $20, I am so grateful to be here where we see people mask to mask. These are some of the best people in the community, and I'm just thrilled to be part of this organization.
Well, I'm glad to see you too.
Yes,
Yeah.
almost.
We all
I miss you so much.
John, I've got another $5 here. It's kind of it's a challenge $5 to you and win. You know, when looking for property housing for the hospital, there is that very nice vacant property on Washington over here behind us that the hospital owns. It'd be nice to see something done with that.
I know. They're working on that. They're
Good. Glad to hear that.
Good. Is anybody else?
Hey, Laurel.
Kelly's got one.
Oh, Kelly,
Kelly's
go
got
ahead.
one.
Hi, okay, so I'm matching Tommy's. I can't tell you how excited I am about this because I judged music for academic masters for, I don't know, 30 years. And one of the biggest problems that I had is that I was not allowed to follow up with the competitors and tell them how they could improve. And so when we've started these four-way speech contests, and Tommy and I talked about that, and we said, listen, these guys they have to know how they can improve their speech before they go to state. And she came up with having Wade help. I'm just thrilled to have that happen because it's all good. So there you go.
John was at fault too.
Thank you, Kelly. Anybody else?
Me, I'm gonna kick in another $5. I'm so glad that Wade is working with McKay. That's wonderful. So let's bring home the prize.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Don. Anybody else? Okay, Steve, I'll return it back to you then.
Tell Laurel Sampson I'll collect the money.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John. And also, you know, whatever happens with our four-way speech competitor, he's gonna be a better person because of it. No matter if he wins or loses the competition, he's still gonna win all the way through by getting the experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
thank you very much, and our thought for the week, is Arthur Ashe, from what we get, we can make a living, from what we give, however, makes a life.
Amen.
Okay. Well, thank you. We'll adjourn our meeting today. My iPad died, so I can't, sound the car horn. I think I'm gonna try and find the bell this weekend. I wrote a note to see if I can find the bell. I think someplace we will. So thank you. Have a great week, everyone, and please feel free to stay on, and we'll continue our
Do
fellowship
you
for
want the
this.
money?
If you want to give cash, I'll take the money.
It's easier than trying to remember.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Hi, John. Isn't he cute? I love Dora. He's just cuddly. Actually, I talked to him earlier today, and he said he was out prancing in his vineyard.
I did.
I want to see that.
That's right.
That's all
No,
right.
no, he said pruning.
Oh, I
didn't do any pruning. I was.
That's funny.
Pruning
I
in
like
the
prancing
winter.
better.
I am.
Just kidding.
He can be a pruning prancer.
Yes.
Okay.